Okay, now you've seen the surprise, and at the time of recording this you haven't, so I hope you like it, and I hope it went down well. If not, you'll never see this video, but if it did go down rather well, I'd shoot a little thing to show you what I did. So, okay, this morning in the post, came in the post, eBayed up. Okay. Ooh. So, reason I picked this, as I've probably already told you, but I'll say it now, is very hard to find a decent Border Collie statue that they all look like Jack, and I wanted one that looked a bit more like Coop. So, oh my god, it's 2 kilos. Solid resin. And as you can see, because obviously you wouldn't have seen it like this is done in bronze, and you know, nice glossy eyes, and it's smells of paint, but it looks like it was painted black and then sprayed or dry brushed in a sort of bronze colour, which is nice, but just in bronze, it's just a generic Border Collie, isn't it? Polystyrene. So if this works out, my plan is to paint this. Well, obviously if you're seeing this and it worked, is to paint this into a better representation of Coop. So the first thing I'm going to do, went out and got some white primer, matte finish, and I'm going to blast him with some white, and then I'm going to get the acrylics out and see if we can make him look more like who he's supposed to look like. And by the way, I know it's a bit stalky, but I've had to go through like back about 4 years worth of photos to get photos of all his different markings and colourings so I can get the patterns right. So I hope I've done it justice. It's weird talking to you in the future even though this is in the past, do you know what I mean? So yeah, let's pop outside and give him his primer coat, and hopefully in the next few days we'll be able to finish it off. And like I say, if you're watching this, you've already got it and seen it. But I like it because he's got the big nose, you know, because he's not just like a pointy nose like Jack. He's got that, and he's got the folded down ears as well, and he's quite fluffy. So I'm very happy with the way he looks, you know. But obviously with colour, the plan is to make it look identical to Coop. Okay, let's give him some white paint. Well, that sucks. I literally just set up outside to paint, and got my paint ready, got my mask ready, and set it all up. And although it's really sunny, it's spotting with rain, which is not something you want when you're painting something outside. Give it a few minutes, wait for the spotting to stop, I think. Okay, so I'm a genius. If I can zoom in, I'm going to go spray on that cardboard box in my shed, because I ain't got time to wait for the rain to stop. I got too much to do. So, do you know what? Sod it. Mask on. And I go for it. Right. Right, so he's had his first coat of white paint and he does look better. What I've noticed already is on the first coat, the white isn't quite white. It's still showing through the bronze paint that's underneath. I hope it's not gonna, react and melt the bronze paint and, go weird. But it does look a little sort of creamy coffee coloured at the moment. But it does look better already in white. So the trick with spray painting is to resist the urge to run back every 2 seconds and keep blatting it. Give it a few minutes, give it time to dry and settle. Otherwise you make matters worse for yourself. So I'm just going to leave that there for a bit now. And I'll I'll do another coat, and I think once he's properly white, I'll give him time to dry, then I'll bring him back in here and you'll see him in a second. He's had 2 coats, and if you can tell by the top of his leg there, ever so slightly goldy bronzy. Either the paint's thin or it's, it's kind of showing through. But do you know what? I like that. If I put too much paint on him, the white kind of makes it look greyish, bluish. Can't really see from this way, he's in a silhouette. But I'll turn him around. I quite like the fact that it's a creamy colour. You can just see it on top of his leg there. It's a nice kind of cream colour. And it definitely looks better in white, doesn't he? So his cheek is in cream as well, just sort of over here. So yeah, I quite like that. I think that's fine for a base, because obviously I'm going to be adding brown and cream and white, everything else on him. So yeah, I think he looks good. I think I can take him upstairs and pull the brushes out. I've decided to use some milliput here to slightly close his one eye there, as you know, because it wouldn't be him without that slightly squinty eye. So it's not going to be hugely difficult, but obviously if you're watching this, you've already seen it. But just kind of give you an idea. I'm not going to film myself sculpting it because I might get it wrong, but I'll just do it now and you'll see the finished result in a minute. Alrighty then, so going by the photo, I did see a note about Coop's nose. Oh, it's not focusing properly, that's better. So you can see in green I've added a slight closure of the one eye and a little bit of detail. It didn't have that line, the model didn't have the line split down the middle of the nose like most dogs have. So I've added that. This camera obviously distorts things in a bit of a fisheye lens. But I think, oh, it's a bit close, there's no light. I think that would be pretty good. Obviously, have a look in real life and you'll see what I've done. But I'm hoping now, give that like 2 or 3 hours for the milliput to dry, and it'll be rock hard. It'll never come off, and then I can get painting. Slight adjustment as well. You'll notice I've put a bit in between his eyes and down his nose a little bit, because there was too much of a crease there, I think. Looking at photos. Obviously this sculpture of this generic Border Collie is not perfect compared to Coop. He's a bit thin, etc., but generally I'm happy with the way it looks compared to the other ones that you can available. So I just thought I'd just fill that little crease out in between his eyes. So hopefully when the paint's on you won't notice that, but he's definitely looking a bit better now. So yeah, no more fiddling around with it. I'm just going to see if I can get painting. Okay, it's getting silly now. You can see that dark line just sort of the corner of his eye. That's where I've scraped away a bit of the, there's a ridge there, and there's one there just on his eyebrow, just sort of up the top. Where is it? Where's my finger? There. Oh, sorry. A little bit at the top there, and a little bit sort of going down the side. There was very sharp ridges there, which I've kind of taken off. Just because this sculpture is a little sort of thin and bony, to be honest, around the face. I could go crazy and keep going and adding stuff, but I've got to remember that the actual general look of the sculpt is really nice, and generally it does kind of resemble who it's supposed to look like, and I am liking the additions I've done with the milliput now, so I hope you are. Okay, so as crowded and cramped as it is here, I realised I did want to paint in the window where the daylight is, but the daylight may be good. Unfortunately, I can't keep looking up at my reference photos, so it's a little cramped, the keyboard's in the way and everything, so it's a bit fiddly, and I've only got a few hours of daylight to make a start, so let's make a start. An hour into the painting, I've started to work out where all the darkest browns are going, and looking at all these different photos, working out where his blobs and his big patterns are. I still have no idea about the tail yet. I'll have to work on that. I mean, it looks a little scruffy at the moment, but rest assured it will and should be tidied up by the time you get it. I'm noticing little bits here and there. I still haven't finished sort of all this area here, but there's not a lot of brown there. Looking at my reference photo, some speckling here, some blobs which I've got there, and got the main bit there with a gap in the middle, which is all this. So it's kind of that sort of South America shape going on with two blobs down the bottom, and I've kind of got that. So it's coming along. I think this paint's going to need more than one coat because it does go on a bit scratchy, but I'm liking it so far. Obviously the green, focus please, that's better. The green will be painted the right colour, white for the majority of it, and obviously pink on the nose and stuff. Because his ears are up, it's a bit tricky, so I might have to just go a little bit off-road with that and do some generic dog ears, but I hope you like it because it's kind of getting there. Nearly there. Spent a lot of time on the face and the nose, etc. I would say I'm about 80% happy with it. I need to change the colour of the bit above his eye, which is too pinky for my liking. It should be more orangey, to be honest, along with some of the other bits. Kind of happy with the front dark bit there, not too bad about that. Kind of worked out how the back goes. I think I want to tidy up that bit there and scratch off those things which are air bubbles. They need to get cut off. Wasn't a lot of detail on the reference photos of the tail, but I think I've worked out that it's kind of a bit patchy, light brown in the middle and white on the end like a fox. So apologies if I got that wrong. Not too chuffed, not too unhappy with that. And the sides, quite like. Oh, so I have spent a lot of time on the nose. Like the nose, like the eyes as well. Put highlights in. I'm going to put some clear gloss over the eyes, so they'll be shiny once the paint's properly dry. But I'm going to do a bit more painting on it tomorrow. Just done a little bit under the mouth as well there. But I mean, this light isn't too good. I mean, the problem is my eyesight's bad and I've got horrible indoor lighting and not daylight, so I might take it downstairs and on the kitchen table tomorrow in the sunlight, and then I'll see how awful it really is and then spend another few hours. But other than that, so far so good. Okay, I think we're about done. Been round, tidied up a lot more of the fur, made the patch above the eye a little less pink and a bit more orangey, tweaked the paint job on the eye, cleaned up the whites and the browns, and the light is too bright out here to see anything, but it's getting there. All I've got to do now is gloss the eyes and maybe gloss the bit of the nose, not all of it, and he's almost there. So, finishing touches. Thought he's not complete without his goggles, right? So I've actually 3D printed some tiny little goggles because I couldn't find toy ones. Action Men ones were too small. So I've gone and modelled a pair and I've sprayed them red. So there's one. This is how big it is in comparison. Hang on, where are we? There we go. It's that big in comparison. They're tiny little goggles. They've got a bit of a curve on them. They got little slots in the end, so I can put straps in. So I put them on a stick at the moment to paint them, and I've glossed them red, but they don't quite look right because they're just solid. So I decided to go even madder on the detail, and I went and printed. Where is it? Where is it? One without a lens. Here we go. I'll just put him on the stick so you can see him better. So there's the one without the lens. Okay. Well, of course, you will have seen this by now. So we've got the little lenses, 3D printed in grey, with the slots either end. Now, for lenses, I was trying to find something curved and plastic and red or glossy. I found these, literally broken bits of plastic egg, Kinder Egg type thing. But then I came across an old pair of sunglass lenses. right? Which would look even better. So as you can see, just about, you see on my face, I've marked out the circle or the oval, and I'm using my handy dandy Dremel to cut them out. Here's one I made earlier. It's nearly big enough, and I'm going to glue them inside the rings, but I'm going to paint the rings red and leave these black, and then put a little elastic strap on them, and they should look awesome. So obviously, if it doesn't come with the goggles, then you'll be like, oh, they didn't work because I messed them up. But if they do come with the goggles, this is how I made them. Oh, by the way, if you needed any more proof that I was a genius, that's what's left. I mean, that's originally the size of it, as you can see. I've cut it out now and grinded it down to a tiny lens. Here's the one. Watch this now. Hang on. I'll just do this where I can see it, because my eyesight's bad. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. I did it earlier. Let's try it again. Look at that. No glue needed. It's in. Oh, where's the lit camera? Look at that. I'm going to push it past the slot, obviously, but it doesn't need any glue, which means it's not going to have blobs of glue all over it. So I'm just pop the lens out now, paint the rim red, and job's good 'un. Obviously I've got to do it for the other one. But so far, how cool is that? I'm quite chuffed with myself.